Good morning, star seeds, intuitive and magic makers. Welcome back to your daily guidance with Ether and Ember. I took yesterday, I needed to do some things. I had downloads coming through. I hope everyone had a wonderful Tuesday. I had to think. Today is Wednesday, right? Yes. I hope everyone had a wonderful Tuesday. Today is kind of dreary and rainy outside, but I look forward to today. We're going to go ahead and get started with our daily guidance, starting with thanks from Divine Spirit, ancestors, archangels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and teachers. We come giving thanks today for your daily guidance and protection. We ask that you guide us today, walk with us, and surround us with your love. Divine Spirit, what is your guidance for us for today? What is it that we need to know and understand for today? So much thanks in advance. It's Hump Day Wednesday. What guidance? Thank you, Divine Spirit, Spirit Power. So today, our guidance for the Threads of Fate Oracle is power. Do you feel empowered today? Are you standing in your beautiful divine grace and power? And this is power that really taps into the essence of us, especially in a day and time in which we can sometimes feel very much unempowered, right? But we all have innate gifts within us that is a power source. So as we go throughout our day today, how are we tapping into that power source that is within us? And I want to say this is not power for the sake of power, right? But rather empowerment, be it empowerment of self or empowerment of others. A lot of times when the power card comes up, there is a shadow aspect of it, and that is trying to exert power over others. And that's not what this card is about. It is very much about how are you seeing yourself in your true light and tapping into that beautiful magic, that beautiful power that's within you. Are you abusing it, right? Or are you using it within light, love, and compassion? Sometimes we can have the power to do a thing or make a decision. Are we drunk on that power? Or are we compassionate as we execute that power that lives within us? There's also the understanding that sometimes we may feel as if we do not have power over a situation. And that's not necessarily true. There used to be this diagram where it's 3 circles all within each other. And so the smallest circle in the middle is what you have control over. The outer circle of that one is what you have the ability or the power to influence. And then the final, bigger outer circle is what you have absolutely no control or influence over. And so when we're thinking about the power that lives within us today, when we are going through our days and, our day to day, and we're making decisions and things of that nature, know that we have power within us to be used with compassion, love, and understanding, right? Understanding that we are empowered, and then understanding that even in a situation that you can't control, you have the ability to influence. And at the end of the reading, I will give the description directly from the Threads of Fate book. What I intuit sometimes can be slightly different than the intended message, and that's okay. And as you are listening to this message today, make sure that you are using your intuition. Okay? So we're going to get an accompany card. And this is the Light Seers Tarot. To dig just a little bit deeper into the Power card today. And if you take a look at this card, I'm going to hold it back up again. It is also talking about power. That's a wand, right? That's a wand. So how are we using our power to influence the change around us that we would like to see? And again, I have to lay emphasis on for the good of all, for the good of self and all involved, right? But how are we directing that power? Because that is a wand. Okay? Can we get an accompanying card? Thank you, Divine Spirit. So the card that came out, and I will pull a clarifier, is the Eight of Swords. With the Eight of Swords card, if you take a look at this card, just beautifully done, you see that she is sitting and reflecting almost like a mirror on herself. We know that the swords deal with the mind, right? They deal with how we perceive things, how we're thinking about our situations. Do we see ourselves empowered, or do we see ourselves having no power in the situation? And so with this Eight of Swords and the Power card, what that is saying to me is that we have forgotten the power that lives within us. I'm going to go back to those three concentric circles all within one another, and how there is always something that you have the power over, the control over. And then there's something, right, that you can influence. And then there are things that you have absolutely no control or power over. When looking at your situation for today or for this week, are we seeing ourselves empowered for that bigger circle of those things that we have no control over? We have no control over, right? So why worry? Why take ourselves through this constant mental chatter? The Eight of Swords is about believing. It's a belief, it's a mindset that you're trapped, that you're stuck, that you're bound, right? You are never bound, ever. We may feel that way, hence the Eight of Swords, our perception of a situation. But if you take a closer look, it is literally her seeing the situation as being trapped, right? But if we switch our perception and look at ways that we are empowered, if we switched it, then this we'll realize is not a reality. It's a perception. So as we're going throughout our day, are we perceiving ourselves as stuck, or are we empowering ourselves? Okay? And I always forget to say this. I'm going to pull a clarifier, but I always forget to say, if this message is resonating with you, please like, share, subscribe. That lets me know that the content is needed. So I want to pull an additional card. Spirit, Divine Spirit, can we have an additional card for this Eight of Swords? And I want to say that it is so easy to look at things because, again, we can be so spirit minded, but we live in a very 3D world, right? And there are situations that take place in our lives. So it's not about spiritually bypassing a situation, but rather it's about, okay, I I know that this is a situation that seems like there is nothing I can do. However, if I sit down and I connect with spirit, there has to be a way that I can free myself or at least look at it differently. Wands deal with passion, yes, but they also deal with our connection to spirit. And if you take a look at this card, right? And you see the light. There's always a different way of viewing a situation. It's what we decide to choose. And it's not to say, oh, well, I could just take this action and that action and it'll all be over. No. But bit by bit, as we begin to move away from what we feel is being stuck or trapped, if we change our perception, we will slowly begin to realize, wait a minute, I'm not helpless and I'm not hopeless. Even if it's a small action. Wands also deal with downloads from spirit. And sometimes when we are so stuck in this energy, we can't get what spirit is trying to say that will help us in whatever the situation may be it work related, career related, financially related, relationship related, whatever the situation is. Sometimes being in this, and I hate to say woe is me, because not all the time it's woe is me, right? Sometimes you are in very real situations where it's like, I feel stuck and I don't know what to do. And sometimes it's a matter of taking a step back, reflecting on it, and allowing spirit to guide you. That's another beautiful thing about this card. She's reflecting on her situation, right? She's looking at it. She's seeing herself as stuck. But the longer she sit there and take a look and disconnect from the perspective itself and say, okay, let me look at this in a different light, then the more she'll be able to tap into her innate ability and feel empowered. I just wanted to add that for some context. Spirit, thank you. Okay. So we have two cards came out. We have the Five of Pentacles, but then we also, nope, we have the Ace of Pentacles, but then we also have the Five of Pentacles. So your situation around you, and that's why I said this is very real. One thing I never want to do, and I encourage others not to do, is to bypass, is to act as if everything is rainbows and butterflies, right? Sometimes things are wonderful, bright, rainbows and butterflies. And then sometimes things can get dark and dank. And as spiritual people, we have to acknowledge both, right? And so that's why I said I don't want us to spiritually bypass. Well, if I just change my perspective, yeah, change perspective, but also understand that you have an innate ability within you, right? It's just, what action am I going to take? How am I going to sit and listen for divine inspiration that can help me to look at this situation differently and to see myself as being empowered and not at the whim of others' actions. And so that came up again when Spirit clarified. You may be looking at your situation like there is no hope. And what Spirit is saying is, if, had that upside down, if you just come out of this for a minute, allow me to step in to get the message to you that is needed, then you'll know that you are okay. Again, though it's pentacles, I know that we associate pentacles with finances, but it's everything. It's comfort, it's safety, it's security, right? So it's not just the financial aspect, it is your reality, your day-to-day as well. And so Spirit is saying, I know you're struggling. I see you. I see you. And I'm trying to get a message to you that will empower you. But in order for me to do that, I need you to come out of this energy, come out of the head, come out of the mind, if only for a minute, right? And again, I always want to be honest. Sometimes this energy, we all have a right to feel away. The key is not to stay in this energy, right? Have your moment. By all means, have your moment. Like, you know what? This is up. It's messed up. I don't like it. Period. I don't like it. I don't like how I feel. I don't like what I'm seeing, you know. I remember times, and I've said this before in previous videos, my relationship with the divine is a very real one. It's very real. I have my moments where it's love, love, love. Oh, divine, I love you. Spirit guides, I love you. Ancestors, and I do. I absolutely do. But there are times where it feels like things are falling apart. And I have my temper tantrums. I'm a true spirit baby. Um I'm a spirit child through and through. And we have our temper tantrums and we get mad and we get upset. And that's okay. But you can't stay there. You can't stay there because as a child of source, You have the power within you. So we can either feel empowered, have your moment, and then say, okay, now let me step back and empower myself. We are so good at empowering others. We empower our coworkers, our children, our relatives, everybody, but we don't know how to give that back to ourselves, right? So Spirit is saying, I see the situation. I know why you feel trapped and that it's very real for you, right? That you are going through, that you're looking at your situation and you're like, I'm stuck. What do I do? And Spirit is saying, if you just for a moment come out of that, I got you. I got you. It may not look the way you want it to look, right? And it may not come when you want it to come, but it will be on time. So, how can today we step out of the torture and the feeling of Eight of Swords and Five of Pentacles and step into this energy? And the smallest thing can help us disrupt this. It could be an act of kindness. It could be you are at the store and someone say, oh my God, I love the smell of your perfume. Allow that little thing to be your way of thank you, something is good. Allow that to empower you. It could be, you know what, coworker, you helped me out so much the other day, lunch is on me. Allow that. Allow that. Spirit shows up in some of the most craziest ways sometimes. But if we're not acknowledging how Spirit is saying, hey, I hear you, then we continue to be in this energy. And this is not the energy because you're closed. When we're in this energy, we close ourselves energetically so that when this is trying to happen, it's bouncing off of a closed door. And again, don't want to spiritually bypass because this is very real. It is. But even in the darkest and dank of places, there is always an opportunity to tap in to you, to tap in to Source, and for Source to say, I've been trying to get it to you. Just hold on. Stay open. Stay hopeful. And believe. Believe that, yes, this can happen for you as well. Okay? So, as promised, I want to give you the description from the book so that you can, one, use your intuition for today's message and what it means for you, and to also have other perspective. Okay, power. You are more powerful than you could imagine. This card serves as a reminder that within you lies an infinite well of power that you can source whenever you choose. Throughout our lives, we may have given our power to others or had it stripped away, but we always have the ability to call it back. And are we giving our power to what things look like? Right? To the situation itself, and forgetting, and I'm going to always say this, forgetting who we are and whose we are. Right? So, an exercise, if you choose, is to sit or lay quietly for a moment, focus on your breath, begin to bring awareness to your solar plexus. This is your power center. Imagine you are sitting inside it. How does it feel? Do you feel lots of energy here, or does it feel stagnant? Imagine there is a glowing seed in the pit of your stomach. It is your power. Now imagine holding it and watching it grow. Feel what messages it has for you. What does it need from you? Continue to come back to nurture your power. Okay? You belong to Source. And so this is always within you. And when you connect to this, you are immediately connecting to Source and the gift or relief that is trying to come in. And so today, let's watch our thinking. Let's watch our thinking to make sure that we are not disempowering ourselves. No matter what the situation is, we are never trapped, ever. It could feel that way, but it's an illusion. Okay? And with that, my loves, I'm going to close it for today. Again, please remember to like and subscribe if this message resonated with you. May your day be blessed. May you be seen. May you be heard. And may you be understood. With so much love, I give you thanks. Have a wonderful day today.